hey, it's Timidity. I'm just saying, if everybody on here cash apped me $1, I would have enough to get my hair done. Ooh! Imagine how that would be like. But it's okay, lovelies. How are you doing this morning? I just wanted to say, unprovoked, divorced men are kind of sexy, but in like a fucked up taboo cucking sort of way. Hear me out. Because, like, and when I say it's one of those, like, weird, not so morally good kinks, but it's still a kink for me. Be like, ever so slightly. It doesn't mean I'm just going in the street huffing for, like, divorced men. No, no. It just means that hell, recently, the last or most recent guy I had crashed out over. Well, there was a new one. Okay, okay. Let's just say his name. His name was Alex. He was a piece of shit. But before I knew he was a piece of shit, I thought, oh, this is a very interesting guy. He seems lovely in every single way. He seems awesome. He did get out of a very long relationship, though. And he was like, yeah, I had a girlfriend of like 12 years and I broke up with her a few months ago. And, I thought it was just a girlfriend until eventually over like breakfast, I was like, hey, out of curiosity, like, did you ever see the potential of like marriage or kids with her? Like, I know you two were together for so long. And they huffed like, and I thought, oh shit, did I ask too heavy of a question at fucking, I don't know, like 11 a.m. on a Saturday when we're both already hungover as shit? And he looked at me with shame and he was like, we're divorced. And I was like, oh, you're divorced? Yeah, we're divorced. You were married and divorced? Yeah. I just thought to myself, I understood why he would lie to me because I had a friend who was divorced and basically like even before the papers got signed, he was explaining that when he would tell people that he was married and was in the process of a divorce, people would lose their ever loving shit because the stigma of like you probably did something to fuck up that marriage. He did. He did. I've known many men to do that. So like it's not just men though. Plenty of women are responsible for divorces too. Sometimes it's both people, sometimes it's neither people. It's just you want to separate. Simply put, he was like, nobody wants to be with me because they think I'm gonna stay with my wife. They feel like I'm just a cheater and a liar. They like in like a million reasons. Basically, people don't want to get involved in mess and don't want to risk someone lying or fucking them over. And if they feel like they can detect a sign that they have let down or failed a previous partner, especially in one as big as a lifelong commitment, it's like, oh, you had a lifelong commitment and you couldn't even hold it out for more than 3 years. Interesting. Like some people really don't fuck with that. But then some people also just like really care about image too. Like that guy I was dating before, more seriously. Ew, I don't even want to say his name. He would tell me that he wouldn't have luck in dating specifically because even if he did meet like the rare woman who was interested, guess what? The second he brought up that he had a kid with an ex, they would be like, "Oh, fuck that shit." Why? Because they want to have their own kid. They don't want to be a stepmommy. They don't want to step up to a parental role. They don't like kids. Simply put, some people are just like, why would I get involved with someone else's kid when I could just like have my own? And all the drama and mess that can come with it. To an extent, I understand because even when I dated him, like that did lead to some controversial stuff with me and him. Like at first the kid liked me, like hell, almost even loved me, was excited to see me anytime we met up, until she found out me and her dad were like bumping uglies. And then she hated me, but also liked me, but also just hated that I was with her dad because she wanted her dad to be with her mom or be single for the rest of his life. But the thing is, her mother passed away like 3 years ago, and even then, they never dated when the daughter was alive. So then it's like a layered thing. Let me not talk about it much. All I can say is I hope that little girl is doing well, and yeah, yeah, I'm not with her dad anymore. But she wasn't the problem. No, he was the problem. He was a hot mess in a lot of different ways, but I love the fact that he had a kid. It's like, hell yeah, I'm a fucking adorable kid. We had the same birthday and everything. Alright, that's not related to this video. I just talk. Oh well, you get to enjoy my presence for an extra 2 minutes and learn some lore. Anyway, as I was saying, I understand why people don't want to get involved with the divorced dudes or dudes with kids or whatever. I don't personally. It's like, I know the nuance of it. I know it's not black and white. And simply put, thank God you left that. If it's a fucked up marriage, leave it. If anything happened that was bad in it, like, leave it. But simply put, when he kind of hid that shit from me until like the second half of our second date, I was like, yeah, I was like, okay. And he was actually kind of shocked that I didn't give a fuck. But it did kind of make me go, this guy seems kind of harder to me because of it. Because before it was like, okay, this is a relatively cute guy, just got out of a very long relationship. Like, if it was just a really long relationship without any ideas of marriage or whatever, that would be pathetic. That's like, that's not cool. But it's like, oh, marriage. He was serious with someone at some point. For Viter. And a sick, twisted part of my brain is just like, you know what, that is pretty fucking hot. It's pretty fucking hot. It's like, cause, and I'm gonna say this from the perspective of someone who has a thing for cucking both, like, it's like with, in both directions. It's one of those things that you ever just get a kink out of nowhere and you're like, oh, I didn't know I liked this. Why? Like, I remember when I was like, 17 with this one dude who I don't want to say the age of. It was a bad thing that should have never happened. Let's just say I remember I was like, hey, send me a picture of you. And he was like, why? I said, I don't know, just something cute so I can appreciate you. He sent me a photo of his dick and another girl. And then, like, I was like, that's hot. You got any more? He was like, what the fuck? You want more? I said, why would you send me that in the first place if you didn't want me to like it? Am I not supposed to like it? And he said I was weird. Oh, but you wanted to piss me off on purpose by trying to do that weird shit. Ew. And then a few other times it's happened, but I don't remember every single time. But I do distinctly remember that when Alex told me that he was divorced, and after a while of thinking on it, I was like, that's kind of hot. Like, ooh, you thought you were going to be married to this guy for the rest of your life. But no, something happened. And since you wanted to be a bitch and you tossed him aside, he gets to be with me, my sexy young ass. It's such a fucking. Also, I have also done that as a favor to like male friends, if like several times. They'll be like, oh my god, this girl's giving weird energy. I don't know if she likes me or not. And I've been like, I can volunteer to help you resolve that issue. Just like, like, here, how about we just date for like a little bit? And I remember I dated this dude for a single goddamn day. And we walked in the hallway where his crush was known to eat lunch. Like, or not really his crush, a girl he thought was cute, but who had a crush on him and he was too dumb to see it and wasn't believing me when I said she was attracted to him. So, straight up, all we did was hold hands and walk down the fucking hallway. She saw me with him, started crying, their friends reached out to him. Let's just say our relationship quickly ended and he got with her. Shout out to John, by the way. You're very welcome. You owe me. I think they dated for like a year or two before, it was nice. And even a friend of mine, I won't say his name, but I remember the girl he was with. When I first met her and stuff, I didn't know who she was. I was like, this is a gorgeous girl at this bar. Holy shit, she's sexy. Ah, and she's being nice to me. But the second she learned that I was friends with her man, suddenly, like, she got cold and callous and kind of scared. And like, if you're like, why the fuck would she be like that? I don't know. I had my fucking braids in and my jewelry on, and I looked cute as fuck with my lip gloss popping. It makes sense. It's like sometimes hot women don't like it when other hot women enter the arena and can pose a threat, which I understand. But then again, I'm gay and I'm autistic, so I don't know. I'm just gonna. It's like if I see a hot woman, I'm thinking, "Fuck, she's fine." I'm not tripping off my nigga because I'm actually a little bit more into women. But yeah, any other, and then next thing you know, for the rest of that evening at that bar, like supporting my buddy's comedy show, like anytime he was talking to any other man in the room, she didn't give a shit. But the second he noticed he faced towards me or I said anything, she would snap her neck hella hard and like sort of like death glare or give like a scared look, just paranoid that her man was interested in me. Now, the fucked up thing is, was he? Let's just say, I. Hmm. Anyway, the answer is yes, but Anyway, it's one of those things where it's like, he was interested, nothing was gonna happen, and also he kept telling me that there was nothing serious going on between those two. But I even could tell, it's like, dude, I think you have feelings for her that you're trying to dodge. She has feelings for you that she's trying to hide. And I am just your friend. Stop saying that I have thick, luscious thighs behind your weird situationships back because she's freaking me out. Also, she's freaking me out with the paranoid jealousy stuff. Be normal and tell her things are fine. And also, of course, he stopped like casually flirting with me as a friend because that shit is weird. In hindsight, I probably should hold him more responsible about that. In hindsight. And if you're like, why didn't you tell the girl that I didn't have her number, I didn't have access to any information? And also because there was a point in time when he did entirely stop flirting with me. So it's like I knew he was attracted to me, but at the same time, I knew he liked her way more. And he was trying to hide it. There's more I can say about that, but I don't want to because I actually feel bad saying that sentence aloud. It's like, damn. He really was like, it's like, what he would be like, oh yeah, she's gonna, she's cute, she's pretty, I don't like her. Her body's really skinny, like a little flat cute butt, not really curvous and luscious like you to me. Like, why would you say that to a friend? If you're wondering, I did end that friendship with that guy because he was being creepy. Yeah, anyway, autism, let's move on. Ew. You ever just kind of like remember something about yourself that happened and then you're like, oh right, I forgot it happened that way. Ooh, why did that happen that way? Anyway, if you're wondering, she did eventually cheat on him, and they have a weird situationship now. And me and him are like on and off friends as well. It's all weird. Anything else I was gonna say? I was getting to something before I distracted myself with my own moral compass, like, and just admiring, like, being like, oh, that's what I did. Oh yeah, but divorce guys are fucking hot. It's hot to know that it's like someone could get tossed to the side thinking they were gonna be in a long, loving relationship with someone who was wrong for them, and then instead, like, they could be all boo hoo, I'm sad, my life sucks, and everything's awful, until a bad bitch like me pops up, and then you're like, oh, ex-wife who? No, hello there. It's or like, hey, one second you thought you were in a happy marriage with this guy, the next second you're ending things, and then the next second after that he's fucking the shit out of me. And something about that feels like a sexy taboo of like, oh, I'm taking this person's man who's not their man. Or like even the same for a woman. If a woman got divorced and I got to get with her, it's like, hell yeah, nigga. You aren't her life partner, you aren't her obsession, but guess who is? It's me. It makes like anything sexy, like, get even more sexier in my opinion. But that's more of an intrusive thought thing. That's something I usually would not like. I don't just go up to divorced men like, you should fuck me to get revenge on your ex-wife. It's like, or to get over your ex-wife. That's not what I do. Funny enough, I just date dudes and then they tell me they're divorced and I just don't cry about it. There's this other guy, I remember he was so depressed after his divorce. He was older, probably like twice my age or whatever, but he looked good. I would have thought he was like 32. You can imagine my shock when he was like, I'm like actually like 48. It's like, holy shit. And you know what we did? We went out to a street festival. We got fucking wasted. We danced. We rapped Glorilla lyrics out loud. He got me a really ugly dress that I still don't know where I'm gonna fucking wear it, but we were drunk-ish, so it was like, eh. And I had a blast. And and then next thing you know, I was just at his fucking I wouldn't say that wasn't a penthouse. That was like a, yeah, I went to the lounge of his fancy apartment and then nothing happened past just kissing, but you could tell that he was beaming. He was so elated because before then he was just staying in the house all the time, depressed as fuck with his dogs, trying to like destroy the dream home that they had built together and sell it. And he was like, oh man, I made this succulent wall and everything. I did this, I did that, and I'm gonna have to get it torn down because I can't just And he was heartbroken, but instead, guess what? He got to party with a bitch half his age, fine as fuck, in public, having a blast. And that cheered him up. Then suddenly he wasn't really caring so much about the woman who cheated on him because he was having what he wouldn't even imagine as a better life without her. And that makes me happy. And also a little bit horny. Like, hell yeah, I'm the bringer of happiness, baby. Always known to lift some spirits. And then on top of that, also semi-related, you know how I said that I dated a dude with a kid? He was fucking cute. Like, I already thought he was, like, when I first met him, I remember he came up to me after I got done performing at the comedy show at my friend's bar, the one with the weird situationship who was paranoid of me. I remember my buddy was like, the guy who hosted that comedy bar, it closed down. He was like, I want to get up tonight, but I don't know. I need to wait for the right moment. I said, what would be the right moment? He said, someone needs to bomb really bad. I said, I volunteer. I got on a fucking mic. I bombed like fucking shit trying to tell stand-up jokes. Oh my god, just nothing but stares for like 4 minutes. And then guess what? I got fucking done. I got off stage, and then eventually, at the end, like, I knew I looked fly as fuck that night. I did. Body was body, outfit was cute, the little speech impediment was making me sound extra sexy. All of that. So when the whole show wrapped up, every single dude in the venue made a beeline my direction, just desperate to try to talk to me, which I understand. But you know who made it first? The guy who would soon be my ex-boyfriend, Jared. He showed up to me. He raced over quick as fuck because he heard me make a joke about dating white men. And he was like, she dates white boys, let's get it. And then, oh my god, most of the dudes who approached me were either white or Middle Eastern. He raced his ass to that bar and was like, hey. Like, he was the first to sidle up to me. He was like, you did great up there. Nice to meet you. My name's Jared. I shook his hand. I was like, oh, okay, how's this guy on cuteness? He's kind of cute. Hey, you know what? I kind of, like, I was eyeing him. It's like, I couldn't tell if I considered him like a 6 or an 8.5. He was in that gray area where it's like attractive enough that I'm talking to him, and attractive enough that if he plays his cards right, maybe he'll get a phone number or something, and we can see how that goes. And then, but moral of the story, I thought he was cute. I just thought, okay, this looks like some generic, like, 25, 26-year-old man who's like a little chubby, but in the good way, like a sexy way. And he looks fucking, hey, he looks pretty solid, and he seems to be kind of fun, a little reckless with his life. But then once he told me he had a kid and that he was actually 32, it's like, oh, one, you aged really nicely. Like, holy fucking shit. Two, oh, okay, so it's like he's someone who has the rare night out where they just fully commit to being a wild child, but they're actually a dedicated parent who can, like, nurture, provide, and take care of someone. That sounds good. Like, I swear to God. If you're wondering what's so sexy about being a dad, because you go from just like some dude at a bar who's like has to do mushrooms to perform on a fucking open mic or whatever, an empty open mic, mind you, to suddenly you're a DILF. Suddenly you're like, oh, it's like you take care of a child? You have your own apartment? Like, you don't have like 1,000 roommates, you have your own apartment? And you have a child out there that you're like feeding consistently, you grocery plan? You do meal planning? You know how to file your taxes? Ooh, that's attractive. You are, yeah, you're a lot more stable than I thought. Women like stability. Kind of like how when a dude tells me that he's divorced versus that he was in a 12-year relationship with a girlfriend. Girlfriend and wife were two different things. If it was just a girlfriend, it's like, oh, okay, you were wasting that woman's time, and like you don't know how to leave things. That's not good. But if it's like, ooh, you were in a 12-year long marriage, it's like, oh, you saw someone worthy of love, you cuffed them. Was the best gamble? No, but you were still someone who is like, I am dedicated to this person, I'm responsible, and I'm a man of honor. And you actually, like, someone saw you as lovable enough to also say yes to you. You must have the fucking goods then. Sure, like it didn't work out, but you still had it in the first fucking place. And then also the cucking thing. And so for someone who has a kid, like, don't worry, I'm not, it's like, the only point is like, this is someone who now, in my eyes, is more responsible and dedicated. So then instead of it being like, oh, we could just spend an entire night out until like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. being reckless, it's like, no, this is indeed a dude who like is like, I have to get home so that I can make sure I tuck my kid into bed at night, or I have to do this, or like it's just like an attractive thing, like someone who has an organized life. Also, I'm gonna admit, like, calling him daddy in bed was kind of like a fun fourth wall break. It's like, daddy, haha, get it? This guy's actually a father. It's like a double entendre. Also, I'm gonna say it for another reason. It's just like, holy shit, dude. Like, how do I put this? Imagine, like, if you're just a dude, you're just a dude. But it's like, hi, I'm a dude. And I'm gonna put it to you like this. Imagine you could meet one of two men. Both were cool, but flawed in their own ways. But then one of them created human life. Like they were a fucking alchemist or some shit. And then not only have they made human life, but they fostered it, they nurtured it. The kid is well adjusted, mentally stable, extremely happy, has everything they could possibly need, all that. And they still know how to organize their life and time to take care of another human being as well as themselves, and then also a third person. And then they're like, if you want, you can be the third person. I can offer you a potential family, or at the very least like a fun bond between me and someone like younger who you could have like a lot of fun, like going to parks with or joking about with, and like they can tell you about dumb shit like skibbity toilet, and you could tell them about interesting things like Marxist theory. I'm just kidding, I wasn't teaching her Marxist theory, I was teaching her famous spine videos though. And that was just so attractive to me, like, ooh, I love that. And if you're wondering, the mother is not around, which is sad, you know? It is sad. If she were alive, I'd probably be thinking something like, ooh, I get to fuck the man you thought you'd be with for the rest of your life, but no, instead I'm fucking him. And then, like, playing Pokemon with your kid later. Like, that's fucked up. Sorry, I'm a bitch sometimes. Sorry, rest in peace to that lovely soul, and also, yeah. That daughter, I hope that little girl does, like, heal, though, over time. You know, she was a sweet kid. It was lovely to know her. Her dad is a scum-sucking piece of shit asshole, but at the very least, for most of my relationship, I don't know, some moments he was a good dad, some moments he wasn't, and that did lessen the appeal. And he knew that, so I would always make sure it's like, hey, like, but I guess it also was fun to, like, I don't know, with the highs and lows of my relationship with that guy, I at the very least could give insight on like what areas he could work on. He would be like, hey, Tamia, my daughter's interested in theory and stuff, and I don't fucking like it. And I explained to him the nuances of it, and then now he has an adorable like 9-year-old kid who like wears like a little foxtail to school, but like has a fun time and is still totally well adjusted and normal, and they get to bond over it. It's nice to be able to like help out a family. Even though I didn't get to stay in it, like, I'm glad that I could at least help in some ways and shapes and forms. Anyway, I think that's about enough for this video. But yeah, shout out to the men who get divorces and hopefully were not evil to the women they were with, because the ones who were evil and cheated and were emotionally abusive, those are the ones who tarnished the image of divorced dudes. Those are the ones that sucked. But guess what? If you're a cool dude who just so happened to get divorced and you want to get a pick me up, you know who to call, baby. It's okay, boy. I'ma take you out tonight. And if you have a kid, that's cool. Me and your kid are gonna bond over baking, and you're also gonna get a slice of some cake, because we love responsible figures. Yes. Bye.